All right, here we go. So, here's my little presentation for you. It's just a bunch of pictures that I put together. I'm going to skip some of this because the first time I did it, it was over an hour. So, yeah, here's us at 4 in the morning. Myself and my father-in-law, Marty Comer. And he's the one who just recently passed away in November. So while I was there, my parents were going to the Dominican, which was really cool. So I hopped over a couple of terminals and got to see them. So that was amazing. I thought I'd show you this bathroom. I've never been in a lounge before. I feel like you guys probably have with all the traveling you've done. But I got my own personal bathroom, and I was just so happy. It was one of the better showers that I've ever had. It was pretty great. I'm skipping these because it's just travel stuff. You guys know about travel. Okay, look at this. We're in Liberia. Woohoo! 44 hours later, we make it to Liberia. This was the first meal I had eaten in Liberia, and it was amazing. It was fried chicken, or fried rice, I'm sorry, and chicken, and it was great. I mean, holy moly, I was so hungry. This is a guy named Guy. He's a missionary in Liberia with another organization where I went to Bible school. He's with that organization, and he drives us around. He helps us with a bunch of things, including teaching. He's an amazing guy. This is Mike. He's the pastor of a church in some state. And this is his son, Josh. Man, what state is that? It's going to drive me nuts. And this is where we stayed. This was our first stop, if you will. That we were in the capital. We drove about an hour out of the capital, which was Monrovia. And then we flew from here down country, all the way down the coast, down this coast. And here's what we flew on. This was, again, like my first experience with different things. This is a bucket to be able to flush the toilet. Not used to that. That was new for me. And this is the little airport that we go through MAF, which is Missionary Aviation Field. And this is our little plane. There she is. I had my ID and my passport checked 3 times in a hallway's length at this airport. And it was just because they could. There's this Barney Fife kind of feel with anybody who has authority. So this is also something that I'm not used to. And here we are getting in the plane. And that's Josh and Mike. Yeah, sure. Just a quick time lapse of flying. It was really incredible. This was my favorite part. We were all very, very sleep deprived. I think I slept maybe 2 hours in this whole time. I don't sleep well on planes. And on the flight I was supposed to sleep on, it was myself next to a man who was 250 pounds, and I'm also about 250 pounds. And then beside him, another one, 220, another next to him, 260. And we were all just cramped in there, all over 6 foot. And so I didn't sleep at all. And this is a really cool video. That's a bishop from one of the churches in the United States, and he was coming to visit one of the churches there, and they're just saying praise God in one of their tribal dialects. There's the beautiful plane that got us there and back. And this is George. He's with Equipped to Serve, and we're staying at his house. George and Lucy. And Lucy is the best host that I've ever met in my entire life. She's the one who feeds us, who does all of our laundry, who takes care of the home. And those are her granddaughters, Lulu and Rosemary. And that's Lulu and Rosemary's mom. It's a little blurry, but... And this was the porch. Actually, this kind of a downer, but right here is where Marty passed away. And this was his favorite spot. He would come right here, he'd set his coffee cup right here, and he would drink coffee every single morning, and every single evening he would drink water, but he'd sit right there. I mean, it was his favorite place. Liberians from all around the town would come and visit Marty just because he was in town. And so this is an incredible porch where a lot of fellowship went on. And this is what everybody drives. When I say everybody, I mean like 95% of every Liberian drives that. Or they hire a taxi and they hop on the back. I saw 6 people. That was the record that I saw. I also saw somebody hauling a casket on that. Actually, that motorcycle, George, took a casket somewhere. It's like, oh man, it's crazy. That's Harrison. He handles and is in charge of the library there. This is Tony Evans' study Bible. I'll show you a few pictures of that we give everybody. And this is what would happen every single day. It would rain. Rain, 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 rain. It'd be dry for about 2 hours, and then it would rain again. And it is just pouring, pouring. And this is where we did a lot of our teaching. Tons and tons of it happened here. This is one of the dorms. This is the church. I'm standing in that pavilion that you just saw here. And then over here is the kitchen and the generator. This is Danawa. Danawa is the man. He's been friends with Adam, who's Equiptoserv's director. They were kids together in the tribe. They've known each other for forever. I mean, he's amazing. He handles everything on the grounds. He takes care of the grass, the flowers, the concrete. He washes the cars, and then he's also security at night, and he keeps anybody bad off. And he is about 53 and ripped. He's so strong. Oh, it's incredible. Here are the girls going to school. We were best friends, to say the least. It was amazing. And this is inside the church. This is the other location that we would do a lot of teaching. If the wind was blowing real hard and the rain would get underneath the pavilion, we'd hop indoors so we could use a projector. And there's the projector. We're teaching. That's Josh. He's teaching discipleship. No. Bible study tools. Bible study tools. And how to use them. How to use a concordance. How to use a dictionary. How to use a commentary. And he always starts with checking the Bible first. The biggest thing he would say is read the Bible, check something else to help you understand the Bible, and then go back to the Bible and read that again and make sure that it's biblical, what that other book was saying. Because one was written by man, the other was written by man inspired by the Holy Spirit, right? And this is where we did all the training. And I won't play these videos to save on time. Mike doing some awesome work. Oh man, I learned so much from him while we were there. It was incredible. While I was there, I helped teach how to use these tablets. There are 115 books on these tablets, and so I showed people how to navigate them and how to use them. With this tool right here, it's eSword, and he can look at the Bible, he can look at a commentary, a dictionary, and a concordance all at the same time. As he scrolls up, all the books move with it to help you understand what words mean, to give definitions for a commentary. It's like a study Bible plus 2 other books, all in one view, and then he can look at a bunch of different books in there. Even a Christian magazine, which I think I have a picture of that here in a little bit. This is our only lady. This is Emma. She is 22 and an absolute rock star for the gospel. Oh my goodness, she's awesome. Julia, my mother-in-law, teaches her primarily, but she came through the main teaching, and she is a youth leader and wants to be a female leader, a discipleship leader with and we'd like her to be with Equip. And that's George again. There's Daniela. I think one of these is a video. Look at it. He's cutting grass. He's got a machete that's bent just a little bit, and that's how he cuts the grass. Here we go. Sharpened this before you started? Mm-hmm. Do you have to sharpen it again?
Every day.
Every day? Or?
The way I work now, sharpening 4 times.
He said the way that I'm working right now, I have to sharpen it 4 times. And it takes him about a week to cut the grass. I think he said 5 days. Just like that. Man, this is why he has muscles the size of my head. This is how we have water. We have a well that pumps into there and fills it up every 2 days or so. And then we gravity feed everything. It's incredible. Peter Kuma. He's a politician. A good politician. He helps us a lot. Mike taught a lot of the tablets on how to use them. This is him looking at that magazine that I was telling you about, the Christian magazine. There it is again. We would break out into breakout sessions and do different projects like, oh man, I can't remember the word, but there was a Greek word, and everyone had to find out how many times it's mentioned in the Bible, what context is it mentioned in, is it New Testament, Old Testament, because Greek and Hebrew, the Greek is the New Testament, the Hebrew is the Old Testament. So we put those questions in there, and yeah, so this is just one of them. Here's another one. I love that picture. That's our logo right there with Harrison. It's pretty awesome. And you can see right here there's another window down here. Pavilion, and it was just absolutely beautiful there. There was so much rain that everything that was green just felt like it was more green. And it really was just amazing. And there's all these tablets, they're all restricted in a way where you can't do anything on them except study the Bible. I was also a part of setting that up. And so we went through all 50 tablets and put on restrictions so that we didn't hand them something that they could use to sin with or to distract themselves with or watch movies. That wasn't the point of giving that to them. So we set it to where it can only read God's Word. This is one of the rare vehicles, but this baby came 700 miles in Liberia, which is like dirt roads. It's amazing. Our beautiful toilet. Josh really gets into it. There's me and Maisie, my sweet daughter, FaceTiming. Beauty of it was every night for a few hours we would have enough electricity, and I bought data while I was there, and their service either goes in and out, but I usually was able to talk to my wife and daughter every night, which was great. Here we go. So I'm not going to play that video. It's too long. And this is everybody getting their study Bible. A lot of people have a Bible, or they have a really old Bible. Everything's in King James Version. This is not. This is Holman Christian Standard Bible. HCSB, whatever that is. I believe. And this is everybody getting it. They would take this plastic that's right here and cut it right down the middle and pull it out ever so gently, so that when we were done for the day, they would put their Bible back in the sleeve, back in the plastic, to try and preserve their Bible as long as they could. And that's just something I've never seen here in the States. We take that plastic off, throw it away immediately. and they kept it almost like a tarp or a protective case. And here's Marty having an absolute ball, throwing the Bibles, which made everybody laugh. You'll see here in a second. Obed was getting ready to snatch it from Marty so that he didn't throw it to him. You can see his big old smile. Oh, that's amazing. And this is Obed that I was talking about. Look at him. That's my favorite picture right there of my whole trip. And that's Obed's dad is right here, David James. He's one of our teachers with Equip. He's one of the librarians that teaches. Man, that was hilarious. Look, you see the Bible in the air? Yeah. There's Peter Kuma again, one of my favorite people. Yeah, just so excited. You can see he's using his pen to score it right down the middle so that he can save that plastic. See right here? He's pulling it off. This is the well, and I don't know if you happen to see this on Facebook. While I was there, I made a post and said, hey, our well pump just blew up, and we need a new well pump. It was $700, I believe. And in 35 minutes, all that money came in. And that's just amazing to me. Oh, it's so cool. Here's a bug I'd never seen before. To switch subjects. Josh is also a pastor. He's in Michigan for his church. Here's another one of those small groups I was telling you about. We did that every single day, basically. My daughter loves this because of the Minnie Mouse. And she knows who Lulu is. We would FaceTime and talk. The kiddos would. This is cola. Okay, so this is very important in the Liberian culture. This is a nut. It's called the cola nut. And what you see right here is called, they call it black pepper. But it is not black pepper. It is the most spicy, hottest thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. And the nut tastes like chalk. So you dip chalk into the spiciest thing ever, and then you eat it, and the spice wakes you up. And then the cola nut is very high in caffeine, and so that works you through the day. And then because it's so dry, you drink a lot of water with it, and it fills your stomach up so you don't have to eat as much. So most people eat 2 or 3 of these a day. To get them through lunch and through the farming day so that they don't have to eat anything. And so it ties them over to their main meal, which would be dinner. That's a little video of me eating it. Okay, during this trip, we had a ceremony. I don't have that video because I was the subject of the ceremony. Because I was a visitor and I was there for an honorable reason, they gave me a Liberian name, and it's right up here. It's called Wanti, and it means listen. And so when I asked, how do you say that, he wrote it a few ways for me to be able to understand it. And then he said, it means when I come, the Liberians will listen. Which is really cool. It's this sign of respect of, hey, when you're speaking, we're going to listen because you have something good to say. And that was really cool. That's the name they gave me. Yeah, this was my room. There's the girls, Lulu and Rosemary. I won't play these videos. This was one of the homeworks we had to do. This is Amos. He's one of our good friends over there, and he's the one who built most of the training center. He was the one that was hired to do that. This is a football game. Again, I'm not going to play these videos. They thought, and this is awful picture of me with my backpack on. Makes me look like a fatty fatso. But they saw a white man at the football game and determined that I was a scout coming to see if I could take anybody back to the United States to play for some teams. So basically, everybody wanted a picture with the scout. Some people knew that I wasn't, and they still just wanted a picture with the white man. So that was fun. So I have about 30 pictures of me with different people. Just they wanted pictures. It was awesome. That's the coach, or the captain, I mean. This is just a quick example of what a typical house looks like. Where we stay in our training center. I don't know if you remember, I said it's an incredible building, very nice. This is a typical building where this is mud cinder blocks, right? So they're cinder blocks, but they're made of mud. And then they have this old tin on here. A lot of it's damaged, and that's a typical place. This place luckily had another roof on top of it, but it's very. You got a square house, right? And they're built well. That's an older house, but it'll be lived in for a very long time. This is another one. This is on the main road, so this is one of the nicer houses. And we're driving. You can see the road that you drive on here. And this is Lucy. So this is during church or after church. Lucy, everyone wears their best for church. And this was Lucy. She's just the best. I call her Mama. In Liberia, if somebody's older than you and you care for them, you call them your mother or your father or your uncle, if just depending on the scenario. And then Danawa, that guy that was super strong, he calls me his son-in-law because I married his daughter. Yeah. Because Meg is his daughter, which is an endearing term, and then I married his daughter. So he calls me son-in-law. And there's Emma. She was one of the people that was hired to do our laundry, and it took forever. But this was a washboard. My generation doesn't know what that is. I'm sure you guys know what that is. So I got that picture so that I could show people what a washboard is. And this is Danawa's house. He's building his house. He made all of these cinder blocks. There he is, Danawa. Beautiful. Okay, right here. On my way in, all the Liberians, they just pick that pole up and they let every Liberian drive through. But they saw the white man coming. They left the pole down and they said, they're police officers. And they said, get out of your vehicle. And my father-in-law just said, do whatever they say, just don't give them any money or give them any of your stuff. But do what they say. And so we get there, and it's very Barney Fife feeling. And so he says, get out of your car. You know, this is standard procedure. We do this with all of our visitors. So they had me get out and walk around this pole and get back in the car. That was it. There was no reasoning. There was no money. There was no anything. And my father-in-law, who's been coming for 13 years, he said, I've never done that in my life. So saying it's standard procedure is really funny. This is the training center from another point of view. And this is the main road. China built this road. And as much as I don't like China being involved with the Liberian's government, this is awesome. There's patches of asphalt. And it is so nice. It saves us so much time driving. And it was more recently done. You can see some power lines that were also put in by the Chinese. And they did a great job. There's the cola nut. They had just cut it in half. There it is. And then this is a little repetitive, so I'm going to go through these. But it's just teaching. It's classes. This is all we do. We teach the Bible. We teach how to use different tools to study the Bible, to know God better. So Marty would get up. He wasn't teaching that week. He was teaching the following week, or those first 2 weeks. He wasn't teaching. He was teaching after that when I wasn't there. And Marty would intercede whenever the American pastors would say something that didn't culturally match. So, for example, in Liberia, you would say dress small. And dress small means suck your gut in and scoot over inside of a car because we're about to pack people in. So you need to make room. And, well, dress small, what in the world? So you have to scoot over. And we might say something like, well, that came out of the blue. Well, that's might not translate. That's a term we know, but not one that they might not know. So Marty would hop in and give examples. I think here the pastor used Toy Story as an example and talked about Buzz Lightyear. And then he was like, wait a second, do you guys know who Buzz Lightyear is? And they're like, no. So Marty hopped up and was like, let me tell you an example. And he used a tribal man as the example because Marty knew the culture so well. This is us getting a new pump, which is so awesome. That was just really cool how the community came together in that. He looked mad. I did ask before I took this picture. We broke down right here. That was funny. They welded rebar on our tire rod, which if you know what that is, it should not be fixed with rebar, but that was hilarious. This is just a quick view of the main strip inside of the town that we were in Plebo. Right here. Yep. This right here is what every gas station looks like. Yes, gas station. They will take jars, like mason jars, of gas and sell it by the quart. And they'll sell mixed gas because a lot of their vehicles take mixed. That doesn't matter. And there's some places you can buy a gallon. They'll be in gallon jars. That's it. You can buy it 1 gallon at a time. And they do that so nobody can siphon their tanks and take their gas because there's not a lot in there. And then a lot of it's like, well, because we don't have enough money to fill our tank up because we're living day to day. So let me get enough gas for today. Maybe enough gas for tomorrow too. So that is what a gas station looks like. And this is, we call this VIP. I had the honor of riding in the trunk. And I am trying to keep my phone steady. It's just that bumpy on the roads we drive on. This was a word study. We had to study anger. This was a school. We bought this property, but we're not involved in the teaching. But we did take care of buying the land so that they could operate. Some cool pictures in here. This one's cool. Every room that I walked into, everybody would stand up and say, "Hello, sir, how are you today?" And I would say, "I'm doing good, how are you?" And they would say, "Very good, thank you." So everybody learning manners as well with education. Which honestly, our schools could learn from their schools in a lot of ways. So as you see here, I'm going up grade levels, right? So this is the lowest, and I don't remember what it was, first and second, and then fourth and fifth. And each class gets smaller and smaller and smaller. This is the seniors. And a lot of this is because as they get older, they aren't able to finish school because they need to work and provide for themselves and for their families. So education is hard to come by. Hence why the Bible school, that I call it a Bible school, the training center that we run is so sought after. Because you can come here and get fed and you can live for 3 months out of the year or whenever you're there and be taken care of and get education. That's just unheard of. This is a typical meal that we had every single day. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of them don't look very good. But holy moly. I have like top 10 my favorite foods, and probably 4 of them from Lucy made it onto my top 10 list. It was so good. Oh my goodness, it has so much flavor. Flavor I've never experienced before. It was so good. And that just looks like slop and not the best. But oh, it was amazing. Basically, everything looked like that soup over rice. That's what we had. This is Kubi. He's one of our trainers as well. I don't remember his name. He was really nice, though. Peter Polka. There's Peter again. Josh made his own brick. He was very proud of it. And then we gave Danawa this, whatever you call these, like Swiss Army knife kind of thing. And he was just playing with it. And then I caught him sleeping. He changed shirts, though. This is where somebody lives. This is one of the huts that I talk about. That it's still tin roof, but it's just, yeah, it's crazy. People live in them. This is a lady. She's learning a tribal dialect because English is so predominant that people know English and they have to learn the tribal dialect. It used to be vice versa. And he's translating there. You can see the other language there. Danawa. So this was towards the end. We got a t-shirt, or not t-shirt, whatever you call this. They were all custom made for us. It was pretty cool. And they just guessed. They looked at us and they're like, yeah, he's a big guy. I'm gonna have to make that big. I don't know how they got his head right because he has a massive head. I'm not going to show you this, but this is Obed giving his testimony. And basically, he was in a Catholic belief system. Every single day, he had to give up money to be able to make it into eternity. It was very corrupt. It was even far more corrupt than, I would say, the American Catholic Church. And I'm not just saying that the Catholics are the only ones that are corrupt. But in this scenario, it was a Catholic church. He had to come every single day and repent of any sins he may have committed. It was this loss of salvation. You had to buy your way into heaven. And Equipped to Serve came in and taught his dad truth, taught his dad biblical principles, what the Bible says about life and salvation and how you can't lose it, and how God is just this all-loving, all-knowing, and amazing partner who sends the Holy Spirit, who sent his son to die for you. And the Catholic Church was so focused on doing good things for God instead of loving and being in a relationship with God. And so he talks about the freedom that gave as soon as he became a believer. And he is a youth pastor now, and just awesome. I love Obed. I would love it if he would become a trainer. He's amazing. This is the last day. And these pictures are dark, and I apologize. I've got to learn how to take pictures. I had practiced on white people, and black people are darker. Shocker, right? So I'm learning here, but this was our class. 29 guys. And 28 guys and Emma. Somebody asked me the other day how many, because we just had another training with these same people, how many people showed up to that training and like dropped out. We've had no one drop out. This is over a 2-year period. We're doing 3.5 weeks at a time. We used to do longer than that, but we've changed. 3.5 weeks at a time, twice a year for 2 years. And we've had no one drop out. Everyone's come. Everyone's stuck it out. It's incredible. And there's Mr. Handsome. Look at him. Those are my favorite sandals in the world. This is one of the cooks. She was so sweet. Here's another one. And we pay them well. We pay them well. And they make $7 a day. Just to help you understand the cost. Where people here in the States make hundreds of dollars a day. This was the food again. So tasty. Obed. This was a lady that her name is Doris, and she grew up in the tribe with my mother-in-law. Like they were best friends, playing with snakes and running through the jungle together. And that's her, and she's just the sweetest thing. She walked 40 minutes one way just to come and see me because she had never met me before. It was incredible. Lucy. There's a guy named Abraham, I believe. He was one of our drivers. This was George. I said, I really want to see the beach. And he said, well, hop on my motorcycle. Let's go. So he took me to the beach so I could see a Liberian beach. As we were driving down, people on the side would say, hey, do you know that there's a white man on your motorcycle? Or they'd just go, a white man. It was pretty funny. This is a Methodist church. One of the biggest buildings there, that's for sure. Where we were. So this is the runway, and those are goats on our runway, and the plane is up here in the air, and there's goats out on the runway. So this guy's running out to shoo them off. And then our plane landed. This is also a road, so they had to stop traffic. Plane. That's a funny one. David James actually flew back with us to the Capitol. He was having health concerns, and by the grace of God, he did not die. We thought he would. And I am going to just skip this. It's 2 minutes long, but it's pretty cool. Flying through the air. This is the Monrovia airport, one of the airport. There's two. There's a commercial, for the commercial planes airport, and then there's this one. And it was a nice one. This is the Capitol. And then there's this one hotel right by the airport that we stay at because the Capitol is pretty dangerous. And this airport is very first world country airport. And to step into air conditioning for the first time I was only there 2.5 weeks. But to step into air conditioning was just like, oh, it was so amazing. Look at this. This is in Liberia. This is just where I was at. Look at that. Oh my goodness. A hotel room. And then my first flight, I had nobody by me. It was so great. I got some sleep on this flight. I went to the lounge because I was pretty hungry, and the lounge is amazing. Ah, that food was so good. Okay, now watch this. This is a funny story. So this mom had been traveling with these two kiddos for a lot of hours. Mom was exhausted. I had just napped, so I was feeling good. The little girl would not sit still, and I said, Mom, do you want me to just hold her? I mean, we're on a plane. I can't go anywhere. I said, do you want me to hold her while you take a nap? And she was like, sure. She napped for 5 hours. 5 of the 8.5 hours she napped. And this little girl, I mean, they both woke up. So I became dad. Mom was asleep, and I became dad. I had to stick my fingers in this little girl's mouth and pull out some sort of headphone that she had bitten off the top of it. And she swallowed one of the silicone pieces. It was gone. I only got the head out, which at least I got that part out. And so I shoved my fingers down her throat. She wakes up crying. So I tell the mom what happened. She's like, thank you so much. You're the best. She's back asleep. I'm like, this is incredible. This little girl slept on me for 3 hours, and then I had to like play with her because what was I supposed to do? Be like, Mom, wake up. I don't want your kid anymore. And then sit there? Like I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. So I just dealt with them for that whole flight. And then this little girl, the last 2 hours, I'm sitting there and I go, and I went, ooh. So I woke Mom up and I said, I think she pooped. And she was like, oh, okay. So when I pick her up and hand her to her, I see that she blew out. So she goes and I'm like, oh, I stink. So I get up and I go and I clean my arms up because I felt like it was on my arms. And I sit back down and I'm like, I can still smell it. And I pick my shirt up and I go, oh, and she had pooped on me. There was poop on my shirt. I was on a plane. There was nothing I could do. There was no change of clothes. I had poop on me. It was nasty. So as soon as we landed, I went and bought a sweatshirt. We landed in Chicago. I went and bought a Chicago sweatshirt. I took mine, I put it in a bag, tied it tight because it had poop on it. Oh, it was nasty. So then after the 42 hours, it took 44 to get there, 42 hours on the way back, which I slept a total of 5 hours in that whole time. My wife took me to Five Guys, and I had myself a big old burger. And that just was a very good burger. So I took a picture of it. And then myself with Maisie the next day. We're having a ball. And that's the end of my trip. So I just wanted to show y'all that. Thank y'all so much for being such a huge part of this trip, making it happen. I mean, y'all did that. Y'all took care of so much of the financial burden for me to be able to go and be a part of the training there. And that was just really amazing. So thank y'all so much. Thanks for being a part, for supporting us on a monthly basis too. That's amazing. Really, I'm blown away at people's willingness to work a job so that I can have an absolute blast going to Liberia and presenting the gospel, teaching the Bible, and then handling so many things on the back end, which you guys know about. And y'all are willing to sacrifice your pay for me to be able to do that. And that just means so much. So thanks a million, really. All right, I love y'all so much. Bye.